Hi guys, hello. Welcome to English grammar class. I am Miss Anne Okara. Today's class we're going to be learning about figures of speech. You may have heard this topic before, you may not have heard about it, but I've got you. We're going to look over this topic and so let's begin. So, what do we mean by figures of speech? Now, figures of speech are special ways of using words to make our writing or speaking more interesting and beautiful. Again, they are special ways we play with words. Figures of speech are special ways we play with words just to make our writing or our speaking sound much more interesting and feel much more beautiful. So figures of speech help us to imagine things, they help us to compare things, they help us to feel things more strongly. Now we have so many figures of speech. So many figures of speech. But for the sake of this class and for the sake of time and just to keep things simple and interesting, we are going to look at just a few figures of speech. So look at the first one. Okay, so the first figure of speech we'll be looking at in today's class is simile. Three syllables. Simile. Now, what does simile mean? Simile is simply a figure of speech that is used to compare things using and as. Like and as. So whenever you see a sentence or you hear a sentence and then you hear the word like or you hear the word as, what should come to your mind is that kind of sentence is a simile figure of speech. Let's look at some examples. The first one, she's as brave as a lion. So for me to let you know just how brave she is, I'm trying to paint a picture in your mind. When people think of a lion, the first thing that comes to your mind is that the lion is the king of the jungle. The lion is very strong. Lion is brave. Lion is not afraid of anything, and it's true because lion doesn't care the size of an animal before it attacks it. A lion will see an elephant and it's not afraid. It doesn't relent and think twice before trying to attack the elephant. As long as it has meat, the lion is good to go. So when you say she's as brave as a lion, that lets you know that she's so brave, she's not afraid of anything. Now he runs fast like the wind. He runs fast like the wind. Now the wind moves very, 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 very fast. So for me to tell you that somebody runs fast like the wind, it paints a picture in your mind of how fast the boy is running. Now she's as busy as a bee. When you see bees are up and doing. They are just everywhere, buzzing, 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 moving about. So when I tell you she's as busy as a bee, so it helps you to quickly understand exactly what I mean. So simile is used to compare things using the word like and as. You can say she is as brave. He runs like she is as busy as a bee. Alright, so the second one we want to look at is metaphor. Now metaphor is also used to compare things. Remember that simile is used to compare things, but you make use of like and as to do the comparison. While for metaphor, you also compare things without using like and as. Instead, you just say that one thing is something. Example, I can say he is as stubborn as a goat. If I say he is as stubborn as a goat, that is a simile because there's I'm making use of the word as. So I'm comparing the boy and comparing a goat, trying to compare their stubbornness. That this boy, if you know the way a goat is stubborn, so it gives you the clear picture of how stubborn that boy is. Now, in the case of metaphor, I would not say he is as stubborn as a goat. I would just call him a goat and say he is a goat. Do you understand that? So, simile will say he is as stubborn as a goat. Metaphor will simply say he's a goat. The stubborn is a goat because he is stubborn, a goat is stubborn. So two of them, they're the same. So he's a goat. So examples of metaphor. Javier is the class clown. When you think of a clown, what should come to your mind is that a clown is funny, a clown is exciting, a clown entertains. So it makes you feel happy. So if I call Javier a class clown, that lets you know that he is what? He's the funny person in class. He's one who makes the class interesting. Now, life is a roller coaster full of ups and downs. You know what a roller coaster is, right? So, life is a roller coaster full of ups and downs. If that was going to be simile, I would have said life is like a roller coaster. But instead, I'm trying to compare life to roller coaster. I just call life straight up that life is simply a roller coaster. Now, my dad is my knight in shining armor. My dad is my knight in shining armor. That means my dad protects me. My dad makes me feel safe. He defends me. So he is my knight in shining armor. So you can see the difference between simile and metaphor. So for simile, you always see like and as. Metaphor, there is no like, there is no as. You just simply call one thing to be another. Now, hyperbole. Hyperbole is an exaggeration. Now, when you talk about exaggeration, exaggeration simply means making something bigger than what it is. You are making it more than it seems. It's not as big as that. It's not such a big deal. But you are just trying to prove a point or trying to express your feelings. So you exaggerate. So exaggeration is what we call what? Hyperbole. Example, my shoes are killing me. My shoes are killing me. Your shoes cannot actually kill you. They can't actually like strangle you, or they can't actually kill you. When I try to say my shoes are killing me, it means it hurts a lot. So it's just an exaggeration, but I just want you to understand how much of a pain I'm in right now. So I have to make use of that statement and say my shoes are killing me. Another example is I have a million things to do. I mean, I have a million things to do in one day. Only me. On my to-do list, I have from number 1 to 1 million. Is that possible? It's impossible. So I'm exaggerating. I'm just letting you know that I have a lot of things to do, but they are not up to 1 million in actual fact. But I have to say that I have a million things to do, just so you get how busy I am, how occupied I am. Now, my mom's going to explode when she sees my grade. Your mom cannot actually like poof. Do you understand? Your mom cannot actually explode. But when I say my mom's going to explode when she sees my grade, that means she's going to flip out. She's going to be so mad at you, like, what were you doing? I thought you were studying. Why did you get this kind of grade? So my mom's going to explode when she sees my grade. So that's just an exaggeration. Just let you know how much of a trouble I'm in right now. So now let's talk about personification. Personification is another figure of speech that simply gives human qualities to things that are not human. Now, what does that mean? That simply means you talk about a non-living thing, like as if we are talking about an actual person. I might be talking about a table. You know, like a table is a non-living thing. Non-living things are things that don't have life in them, right? Now, a table doesn't have life in itself. So, imagine me talking about a table, and when I'm talking about a table, you would think I'm talking about a human being. That's what you call personification. Now, example, the sun smiled happily at us. I'm just trying to say that the sun was shining bright. But most of the time, poems are like personification. So poets make use of personification a lot. Okay, somebody can be saying, maybe the chainsaw rod, the sea, something like that. The sun shined upon the sea's hair. Like, does the sea actually have hair? So they're just trying to, talk about a non-living thing, like as if we're talking about a person. So when you do things like that, you are making use of what we call personification. So the sun smiled happily at us. The tree danced in the rain. It just simply means the tree was moving about. It was not actually dancing. Okay, I'm talking as if the tree is actually dancing. Now the plant was begging for water. The plant wasn't voicing out and begging, oh please have mercy upon me and give me water. It wasn't doing that. But the plant was begging for water. So it means that the plant was drying out. It was withering. It's so obvious that this plant needs water. So I'm not saying the plant was begging for water. So you can see what personification is. So talking about a non-living thing, like as if you're talking about a human being or a person. Irony is another figure of speech. Now, when you talk about irony is simply saying the opposite of what we really mean. Irony is saying the opposite of what we mean. So I'm saying something, but I actually mean the opposite of what I'm saying. Now, I can do this to be funny or to show surprise. Now, irony can also happen when something unexpected happens. Example, what a beautiful day. Now, look at this picture over here. Look at the house. I mean, you can see cloud storms, you can see rain, you can see flood. Is that a beautiful day? This kind of rain can literally destroy things. I mean, it has literally broken down that tree. That tree has been split. So how is that a beautiful day? But let me give you. Do you know if you know what we call sarcasm? Irony is kind of like sarcasm. Now, a pilot is afraid of heights. A pilot is afraid of heights, okay? How will a pilot be afraid of heights? Because you want to be a pilot and you say you're afraid of heights. So the moment you enter into the airplane and you go high off the ground, you start panicking. What should the passengers do? So that's ironic. It's impossible. It should not be. So for you to be a pilot, you should not be afraid of heights. Now I'm such a genius, but you can see what the boy got. Oh, you are such a genius. Yes, look at your grade. F9. That's a fail. and you're calling yourself a genius. So do you get the idea of irony? So it's sarcastic. So saying something but meaning the actual opposite of what you are saying. Maybe just to be funny or to show surprise. Now, the last figure of speech I'll be talking about in today's class is what we call alliteration. Now, alliteration simply means repeating the same beginning sound in words. Repeating the same beginning sound in words. Take note, it's more like repeating the same consonant sound. Because there's another figure of speech that has to do with repeating the same vowel sound. But your vowels are what? A, E, I, O, U. But for alliteration, you only repeat consonant letters or consonant sounds in words. Example: Dan's dog dove deep into the dam, drinking dirty water as he drove. You can hear the sound d, 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 d. That's letter D. It's a consonant. Now, another example: Seven sisters slept soundly on the sand. What sound can you hear? S. So the S letter is being repeated in the sentence and the sound is being repeated. Another example: Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. That's a consonant sound. So that's alliteration. A paper plane passed over my head. A paper plane passed over my head. The same sound. Go and gather the green leaves on the grass. Go, go. Go and gather the green leaves on the grass. So whenever you see a letter, a particular letter or a particular sound being repeated in a sentence, what should come to your mind is that the figure of speech present in that sentence is alliteration. So with everything we have learned so far we looked at what simile, metaphor, hyperbole, irony, personification, and alliteration. So we looked at 6 figures of speech in today's lesson. Now, with everything we have learned so far, do you think you can identify the figures of speech in each of these sentences? The first one: the star danced happily in the night sky. The stars danced happily in the night sky. I'm talking about the stars and I'm saying they are dancing. Talking about the stars like as if I'm talking about an actual human being. What kind of figure of speech is that? She is as fast as a cheetah on the playground. She is as fast as a cheetah on the playground. Telling you how fast she is. So I'm comparing her to a cheetah using the word as. What kind of figure of speech is that? My bag is as heavy as an elephant. My bag is as heavy as an elephant. I'm exaggerating. Even if my bag is heavy, it cannot be as heavy as an elephant. Do you know how heavy an elephant is? They're not talking about putting an elephant to back an elephant. So that's an exaggeration. What kind of figure of speech is that? He's a lion in the fight. I'm calling him a lion in the fight. I told you a million times to clean your room. Can I say one thing? 1 million times in a day. Go and clean your room one. Go and clean your room two. Go and clean your room three. Up to 1 million times. That's an exaggeration. Sally silently slipped out of the room. Sally silently slipped out of the room. So there's a particular letter that is being repeated across this sentence. What figure of speech is that? Now that test was a piece of cake. I want you to know how simple and how easy that test was. So I'm calling it a piece of cake. Calling the test a piece of cake. What kind of figure of speech is that? And lastly, the teacher's house is always messy. The teacher's house is always messy. Is that possible? Because for you to be a teacher, I mean, you are teaching your kids not just about math, English, science, but trying to teach them about responsibility. So you are not practicing what you are teaching. You're not practicing what you are preaching. So that would be an all right. With that, we have come to the end of today's class. So I'll see you in our next video. Bye.